Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things that they talked about in Davos was that yes, we need to embrace all the technology, but actually a lot of the reskilling is around soft skills, and they talked about things like collaborative problem solving.
Yeah.
And funny enough, when you look at some of these games, the Robloxes and things like that, these 13-year-olds are playing. They're actually learning those type of skills.
Yeah.
And the question is, how do we actually embrace that as organizations so that we can bring that sort of collaboration into the way we look at problems in the world and how we solve problems for customers? So I think it's going to be fascinating, because the technology, yes, but it's actually how we embrace and work together and enable that creativity and collaboration that's going to be key.
Yeah, and going back to Marcell's point in terms of future of work and hybrid work, we have to remember that, I mean, at least Tony and I have been involved for many years in terms of digital transformation. And, we've been telling people for many years, we need to be disruptive. We need to change our mindset. We need to start thinking about, outside of the box in terms of future of work. And it's true that mental health was suffering, with burnout and things like that. And suddenly you had COVID. So we have to think that 2020, COVID came, and today, it was January 2023, and already in less than 2 years, because I think COVID, the first confinement was like around March, if I remember correctly. So in less than 2 years, the technology and the mindsets have evolved in more than, I've been involved in business for almost over 35 years, actually. And what I've seen in 30 years, suddenly in 2 years, it has exploded. So what I'm trying to say here is, like, we have to feel great about what we saw at Davos and at CES, because innovation has enabled us to come so much further than we have ever done in the last 30 years in just 2 years. I mean, thinking about it, 2 years is nothing. Right. And so now it's part of our, and when I talk to my customers about digital transformation, it's part of their DNA almost now. They're like, oh yeah, put us together a plan about transforming our company. I say, well, okay, it'll be done tomorrow. Is always my joke. But, at least now you don't have to fight. I don't know, Tony, how you feel about that, because I know you've been involved as long as I have in terms of digital transformation, but we used to fight a lot for people to understand. Yeah. I mean, fight in a good term, for people to understand why they needed to transform, and now it's not an issue anymore.
Yeah, I think it's improved. I think the big thing for business leaders is to feel comfortable. Actually, this is not about the technology. This is around our customers, around our business, about our business model, and for them to be able to make sense of what's happening around them, and then to be able to give that sense to the organization that this is something that is good, that can be embraced, that can improve the organization, can improve what they do for customers, what can improve the lives of their employees as well. Because quite often digital transformation is seen as shorthand for right sizing or downsizing or whatever term you want to use. So if it's a case that we can sort of say, well, actually, our world is changing, our customers are changing, their needs are changing. Let's talk about how our business needs to change and how we could get there. That's a great conversation to have that, your people will embrace.
Yeah. Yep, Marcell, back to you. With technology boosting productivity, you mentioned future of work, but let's not forget, right? We have to produce more, right? We have to cut costs nowadays, right? And at the same time, innovation is not waiting. So what's your experience out there, kind of, feeling and understanding the future of work mixed with higher productivity?
So I definitely agree that we need also to improve the productivity. Overall, on the other side, I also want to be a little bit careful by overusing the term what will come with robots, artificial intelligence, and all of that. That's what I also learned in Davos, as well as the World Economic Forum, where we have seen some studies out there. There will be millions of jobs impacted by the technology as we see them evolving day by day. On the other side, the good thing is also that we have a entirely newly created ecosystem on additional jobs which didn't exist in the past. So from drone programming, data architects, data scientists, ChatGPT, also integrating chatbots. Tony mentioned a few times the customer side. So customer experience is key, using the data and working with the data for the better for the customers, because we all want to be successful. And as a business, you need to be successful by serving your customers. If you lose your customers, you lose your revenues. And by that, you definitely have a big question mark on your business model. On the other side, I think we also need to see how we can ensure that we only do meaningful things and let robots or automation do the less important stuff, or basically manual repetitive tasks, which machines simply can do better. My favorite example, as I was a chief procurement officer at SAP 10 years back, or even a little bit longer, it's now 12 years back exactly, that I learned a lot about why do we still have people in front of a laptop sitting there, and on one screen they see a document, on another screen they see an ERP document, and basically they need to do manual typing work. This is something what definitely machines should do, because the people are needed, and productivity also means not only that we do more with less, it is also that we focus on the value creating, value adding activities, and basically try to get rid of what anyhow most humans don't like to do, these repetitive tasks. And this is really where we need to think about the future of work, and of course focusing on the capabilities what we have by technology. On the other side, also ensuring that we define the new roles for the people in a meaningful way, that we really can bring both together. I use the term bionic. I like it. On the one side, the technology, and on the other side, we as humans, to bring this together. Nothing else is meant with bionic. So basically, it's a digital transformation by really integrating technology in the daily work with people. And this is where I see the future, and how the future of work will look like, but still not defined to which extent we will use which technology, what the impact is, and also how can we ensure that we do the change management, because we definitely should not forget the people side of the equation, that the people need to get trained, they need to be leadership, to really focusing also in getting the right talents for the jobs, and also helping them to upgrade, to focus on the more value-adding activities. And therefore, we as leaders are needed also to make the transformation happening and running this in the best way for the people, by using whatever we get access to increase the productivity here, and also to stay in business with our existing business model, or adapt the business model if needed.